Welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Florida Man Friday, March 13th, 2020. And Mark isn't here today. He said he was going to go personally defeat the coronavirus. So I don't know what that means, but hopefully he's staying safe. This is our first isolation podcast, fellas, where we're self-quarantining, not in the same location. How you feeling?
Alone. Very
good.
Very alone.
Mm.
No, literally not good. I don't know how I'm feeling. Might have to go get that C test.
Yeah, Pat, you were saying that you might even have a fever.
I'm literally gonna maybe go get that C test right after the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I might not have a fever. I don't know. I got a test, but I'm not feeling well.
You know, is it messed up for me to slightly hope that one of us is going to have to come on camera every night with this thing?
No,
I'll be honest with you
I've
guys.
secretly been hoping that for a while now.
None of us have good immune systems or bodies, but I think that I could fight the corona potentially best out of the four of us. I don't know.
Why is that?
Well, I'm the thinnest.
You've lost a tooth to
Yeah,
time.
you're the
I have the
biggest
lowest-
smoker, though.
Whatever. We all smoke. I have the lowest blood pressure.
Actually, these days, my diet, I'm pretty low. I'm pretty low there.
I'm the tallest, so I could lean out pretty good. My body could handle. I don't know. I'm just trying to look on the bright side.
Well, yeah. If you are the one who is sick, yes, I agree. You will be the one who's best to defeat it.
Sure, Pat. We'll let you have the coronavirus.
Yes.
That's cool.
Thank you, Wes.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a word in edgewise last night, but at least you gave me the coronavirus.
All right. We'll talk a little bit more about coronavirus. I'm going to take that as our main story today before we head over to the lightning round of other Florida Man headlines that you boys have prepared for us. So let's get into it. The coronavirus in Florida. Since it's Florida Man Friday, let's talk about Florida stats. 2 deaths in Florida overall so far. 27 Florida residents have been diagnosed with the coronavirus, and 5 of those Florida cases have been repatriated to Florida from people who are traveling. So as you guys know, that's typically how the spread has kind of started in America. It's people who've been on cruises or wherever, Chinese Americans or whatever.
Yeah,
visiting
how exactly do you mean repatriated? You mean just came in from another place, or
as
someone...
in cruise people who were detained who had to get brought back, from the various travels or whatever. So they were brought back in. They were Floridians who caught it and then had to come home.
I thought you meant a Floridian that caught it, cured it, left the country, and caught it again.
Well, that would be complicated, but no. This is just, and that's just, I just put that in there to mention. That's how a lot of these things are starting in the communities. People are like, how did it get here? Well, that's how it got there to your community. A lot of times. Florida juggernaut Disney announced on Wednesday that its theme park in Tokyo will stay closed until April. So that's quite a while for Japan. And parts of Disney's resorts in Shanghai, China, though, have already started to reopen. So that's good news on the healing side. The temporary closure of the parks is going to cost Disney an estimated $175 million to $300 million. So that's high operating cost for Disney that they're losing every day they're not operating. And that's why, for now, the Orlando Disney World will remain open in Florida, but the California Disneyland will be closed through the end of March with a large caseload in the LA, California area. On Thursday, Disney said, quote, the hotels of Disneyland Resort will remain open until Monday, March 16th, to give guests the ability to make necessary travel arrangements, unquote. But they're basically like, get the fuck out of here. It's bad in California.
That makes no sense to me.
What do you mean? Why not?
Well, so they're shutting down Tokyo, shutting down Disneyland, shutting down China.
No, they're reopening China because the outbreak is slowing down.
Right, they're ahead of it, but Orlando stays open? I don't get it.
Orlando, the outbreak in Florida is not as bad as it is in California yet. They will close it eventually, but they're trying to cut their losses because every day they're closed, they lose more money.
Yeah, this is Florida, Pat. They don't make the best decisions down there, as we're going to find out.
True.
Well,
hey, by the way, China has cut
pro-business.
their daily coronavirus cases from I think it was 2,400 to 22 now. It's the thousands down to the under hundreds.
Yeah, they've got it. They finally are on the ass end of it, which is
That's
great
good
because
news,
now
yeah.
we got something to follow at least. Even if it did start there. Well, it started in Wuhan. It was discovered there. So that's what's happening in Florida, fellas. But here are the other things that are happening worldwide that are closing at least temporarily due to the virus. That's already been labeled by the CDC 10 times deadlier than the flu. And it's a shitload of things since Trump's speech on Wednesday night. So every single sports league in America is at least on hold. The NCAA basketball tournament, NBA, NHL, XFL, everything.
Golf
So-
too. They're not going to have any more spectators in the golf tournaments
That's
anymore.
right. That's
This
right.
is a perfect opportunity for esports to rise.
That's
right?
true. You
Yeah,
can be at your own house. You're right. This is huge for
It's
esports.
an esports vacuum.
You're right. Americans are scrambling to travel back from Europe, which turns out is allowed for now, which was a mess up on Trump's speech, which, he should have definitely been a little bit more harsh in his wording, I think. Monkeys in Thailand are forming street gangs to fight over food since there's no tourists tossing snacks to them anymore. So shout out Heart of Hive members Joseph Kruger and Grayson Schramm, who sent us an amazing video of these monkeys who are fighting over a banana. It's like literally they've formed street gangs. So
Have they evolved? Are they using weapons? Do we
no,
know?
I mean not well. Eventually, yes, but for now, just the gangs. They've ganged up to fight for food because they have no tourists giving them leftovers.
Do they have colors? How are they
It looked
differentiating
like
themselves?
they just sort of knew. They probably can tell each other apart better than we can tell them.
Scent.
Because it's like, yeah, it's tough to like go into like a skins and skins game, pickup game,
Right.
That's why it's shirts and skins, because you turn to pass the ball, is the shirt on,
It's
is
true.
the shirt off?
Maybe
That's how
they're
you know
going to
who's on your
start
team.
branding some of these monkeys or something. Brand them in, brand them out.
They all look the same to me, if you ask me. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but
It's true.
yeah.
It's true. I think that's animalism, though. The president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, is being tested for coronavirus because his aide has confirmed has coronavirus, and his aide and him met with President Trump and Mike Pence 5 days ago. And so Trump has now officially been exposed to coronavirus twice. Once from Bolsonaro's aide and once from the guy at CPAC. He has still not taken a test. Most American cities are banning events of certain thresholds as low as 250 person limits in some places with extremely bad coronavirus caseloads in America. As we've already covered, we were going to try to do something at South by Southwest, but we've had to cancel because we can't advocate for people getting together, even for charity, because that's like asking you to voluntarily get the 10 times flu. So you don't want that.
Yeah.
Lots of schools across the country are canceling or going to teleschool after spring break ends. I know, Wes, you're dealing with that, right?
Yeah, my son is going to be off school for at least 3 weeks starting this coming Monday. So spring break into 2 weeks of online classes, and then who the fuck knows after that. So, I mean, yeah. Everyone's
they're
doing
just
everyone's doing their 2 week thing to kind of like be like, hey, look, we did it. And we're taking the necessary steps, but this thing might just be ramping up. So who knows what the fuck's gonna happen?
Wes, let me ask you. So you have a unique ability or situation where you work from home. You can look after your boy.
Yeah.
What do you think parents are gonna do? Can't. I mean, like that's like if the double parent working situation.
They're
single
fucked.
parents. Yeah, single parents are going to have a really hard time. A lot of companies are going to start offering telework. Hopefully some parents will be able to help their kids on that. But otherwise, friends and family are going to have to step up big. People are going to have to help each other out. This is how it's going to work. The list of closures is endless, and it's certainly going to get much bigger than this. As Wes said, I'm not going to be surprised if domestic flights get grounded at some point, at least in certain cities with bad outbreaks. And you'd expect to be inconvenienced by this for at least a few months. I mean, you look at China, they're on the ass end of it now, but it started quite a while for them. The director...
I want to bring a quick point up about China, though.
Yeah.
They're an authoritarian government. So they literally have people outside of apartment complexes that you live at before you walk in taking your temperature. So they were able to employ everyone at the government's will to curb the spread of the virus.
Correct.
And America is we're used to getting our own way. It's really hard for a country like ours to fight a virus in the way that China's fighting it.
Sure, but Americans are going to have to step up and stop being pussies and do things that are good for their neighbors.
That's true.
So the director of the Ohio Health Department estimates that 1% of Ohioans, as I say, Ohioans.
Ohioans.
Yeah, she said Ohioans.
Ohioans.
Somebody's going to have to tell us. Anyways,
Yeah.
She estimates that 1% of the state is carrying the bug based on the principles of community spread, even though there's only been like 5 cases confirmed in Ohio. So that means that they think they're operating under the assumption that the spread right now is far, far bigger than the amount of confirmed cases. Also, a new 8-hour test has been developed to replace the old 2 to 3 day test. So you should expect U.S. caseloads to skyrocket because we have faster tests and the incubation period is probably ending in most cities around now. Most importantly, guys, let's move on to the good news.
Yeah.
The good news about the
there any?
coronavirus. There is actually quite a bit. I've got quite a list here. Okay. Most people aren't going to get sick from this round. The virus is way worse for people over 70 than any other age group. China is getting their outbreak, as we've been talking about, under control at this point, and the mortality rates are 3.8% in normal areas that aren't heavily impacted and 5.8% in Wuhan itself. That's probably the theoretical max. So if you're careful to keep your house and your hands clean, avoid big crowds, and try to lay low, it'll help reduce the spread of the virus in whatever community you live in. Get yourself a little setup in your house, get your cleaning stuff together, get your medicine together in case you do get sick, and make sure you have a thermometer ready because you need to take your temperature if you're feeling sick. A fever is when you need to know you need to call your doctor.
The interesting thing that China found was that I think it was like 85% of cases were linked back to family members. So what China did is if someone in your household got sick, like normally if you have the flu, they're like, okay, go in the bedroom and hang out, we'll take care of you. What they're doing is removing people that have the corona or potentially any sort of fever
within the family.
Yeah, they're sending them to a fever center, and then so they're getting all these people in a fever center together, then testing them there, but they're removed from the household until their test is positive or negative. And then they're also removing children from their parents because children are more or less immune to the bug. They have a difficult time getting it. So,
right, and that's an important point too, Pat. If you're young, like you might not get sick from this, but you got to think about that. Like anytime you go out, if you are sick and you have this thing, that's somebody else's parent, somebody else's grandparent that you're coughing on.
Yeah. But if you're a child at heart, Will.
Yeah, more good news. Stocks are plunging at record rates, and you'd think that's a bad thing, but no. Take this opportunity on this downturn. Get rich on the other side, all right? Keep an eye on the markets. Once your area is hit for real, Pornhub is also going to give you free premium services because that's what they've been doing everywhere. You're going to get a 2020 tax break. The tax due date for 2019 is probably going to get pushed back. And also, you're going to finally have time to do stuff around the house that you've been putting off, probably.
Wait, so does that mean that Pornhub is going to give me a refund on my current premium services?
You will probably have to call Pornhub and work that out.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was about to ask, who the fuck needs premium services from Pornhub? Like who?
Yeah, I don't know.
The regular videos aren't good enough. Yeah,
I know. It's like how long are you watching these things? There's
millions of videos.
There's millions of 8-minute clips on there. Yeah. You really need more?
It's pretty free out there these days.
There's a lot of needy people out there. And so let me just wrap this up. I know I've been long. After all, we're all Americans. We're going to keep working in whatever capacity is safe for our neighbors. And if we just take care of each other, like we have better than anybody else in the world since 1776, we're going to be okay. It's going to be a couple of tough weeks here, but what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And, we're going to come out on the other side kicking ass and taking names. So that update of the coronavirus was brought to you by Wealthfront. Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys like your money to just sit there and do nothing, or do you like your money to make more money for you?
No, I don't like lazy money.
I like my money to be the exact opposite of me.
So active.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why you need to get the Wealthfront cash account. You earn more interest on your money. They have one of the highest interest rates in the market at 1.27% annual percentage yield. That's 14 times the interest rate than the natural average of 0.09%, according to FDIC.gov. It's easy to get started, and it takes $1. Just a few minutes to open an account. You can even do it right from your phone. No paperwork required, and there are no fees. Your money is FDIC insured up to $1 million through their partner banks. Wealthfront's clients trust them with over $24 billion. That's a lot of cash they work with, and clients have earned over $100 million plus in interest from their Wealthfront cash accounts. Right now, you can sign up for the Wealthfront cash account in less than 5 minutes by visiting wealthfront.com/factor. Go to wealthfront.com/factor and start earning 19 times more interest on your savings. That's wealthfront.com/factor. All right, here's the legal requirements and guidelines I got to read. Wealthfront is not a bank. Cash account is offered by Wealthfront Brokerage LLC, member FINRA/SIPC. Wealthfront conveys funds to partner banks who accept and maintain deposits, provide interest rates, and provide FDIC insurance. The APY is subject to change.
Love it.
Right.
And I just one caveat on Will's story: we are not all Americans. Shout out our Canadian listeners. Shout out our Australian listeners. Shout out our British listeners. We are all Americans, but I just don't want our I don't want our international audience to not feel loved.
And I'm sorry about that. I am proud of my American heritage, but I do appreciate that we have global listeners, and I think that everybody around the globe just needs to support each other on this one as well. So I mean,
and you're the most widely traveled out of all of us by far, Will. So Will's been around. He's been around the block. He loves the world.
I do.
That mean?
Well, you know
I've
what I
just
mean.
traveled to a lot of places.
He's just been a lot of places. All right, guys, this next story is one of mistaken identity. The students at Highland Middle School in Jacksonville, Florida, were forced to evacuate from the school's gymnasium, and 41 of those students were sent to the hospital last week after one hygiene-minded student sprayed himself with what he thought was body spray, but was actually pepper spray.
Oh, wow.
Ouch.
Yeah, it didn't say in the article if this was a school for intellectually disabled students or not, but
Isn't there like a safety on mace?
Well, yeah, there is. But if it's your first time spraying yourself with body spray, you might think there's a safety on body spray, and maybe there should be.
Those are all schools in Florida, Pat.
That's true. The student had taken the pepper spray from another student's belonging, which is why the contents of the bottle were foreign to him. So I'm guessing the student he took it from was probably surrounded by a gaggle of swooning middle school honeys, which led the perpetrator to rifling through the Casanova's stuff in an attempt to find out his secret. That's where he found the spray and said, this must be what this guy's got.
Talk about an all-time backfire.
I know.
Wow.
So the boy really gave himself a generous spritz here, guys, which led to complete chaos. One seventh grader with the unfortunate name of William Cosby told told WTLV TV, everyone started running out of the gym, and then when I came outside, everyone was coughing, praying. Somebody threw up. It looked like it was blood, but it was just throw up. I called my mom and told her what happened, and she handled the situation. And by handled the situation, he means she was like, they call you William now, right? No one called you Bill, right? Right? Which is a tough name. Tough name to have.
I think, yeah. That do you think they check in with him frequently, make sure he's not considering changing his nickname?
I
to Bill?
guarantee. What seventh grader do you know that goes by William? You're a William, Will. Did you go by William? No fucking way.
No, I mean most of them go by Billy or Will or Bill. Yeah.
Right
He
about
was Bill
seventh
Cosby.
grade is when you make that change. I had a cousin who went by William up until he started going by Will in high school. So there's a switch.
Did you, Wes? You're a middle name guy. Did you always go by your middle name?
Yeah, but in college, some buddies started calling me by my first name. So one group of friends calls me by my first name, the other, and then you do that sometimes too, Pat. But
I do it when I want to let you know that I love you.
Yes.
and I know your full name.
I feel like that's more of a chastising thing. Full name,
I'm a complicated guy. Let's take it to the internet. I'm gonna have to get close on this one. Our girl Cyan Raindrop says, and this is a good point, perhaps this was not the first time this occurred, and the kid who brought the spray in knew what was going to happen.
Hey, yeah, he baited him. Yeah,
He could have baited him. Or it could have been a scenario where it wasn't even a bait. The guy was just like, hey, spray this fucking pepper spray, and then if we get caught, we'll tell him it's body spray. That also could have been the thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Right. And then we got Gold TP says, pepper spray does nothing to someone pumping with adrenaline or with a gas mask. Really weird comparison. That's apples to oranges.
So he's,
but
what was he
still,
saying? Like I would have just worn my gas mask and chewed the pepper spray?
or if he was pumping adrenaline.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, yes, of course, gas mask. Gold Button responds and says, found the guy who's never been sprayed. All the adrenaline in the world wouldn't be enough to let you keep your sight if you're hit. Which is fucking true. No exceptions. It's an entirely automatic body response. You've got as much chance of keeping your eyes open as you do stopping your own heart through willpower alone. It's like, which is, from what I've heard, my friends in the military, or cops, that's what happens, right? But no, Gold Button or Gold TP says, enough adrenaline. Anyway, guys, I looked up the brands of pepper spray, and the only one I could potentially I could find that could potentially be mistaken for body spray and would mean this kid wouldn't have to eventually live in a group home is Fox Labs Mean Green H2OC. So the label is green on black, kind of like Axe body spray, and you could see how someone would think a place called Fox Labs would make some seriously
They make.
sexy.
I know what Fox Labs makes. They make nutrients for weed plants. I've got.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they also make a pepper spray.
That's okay.
But that's really the only one I found that could be mistaken for body spray. The rest of them, the kid might need a helmet.
All right. Let's move on, guys. This one comes from Claudia Kalin. And if you are a horse lover, you may want to turn this one up. You may want to turn this one way down and put on your favorite happy song in the background or have your favorite happy song ready to go. So generally here in the United States, when we think of horses, we think of what? Cowboys or rodeos or
cigarettes.
Yeah, Native Americans,
fields,
maybe.
hay bales.
Right. We generally don't think about that horse being served to us on a plate along with some mashed potatoes.
No.
Yeah, other countries like China, Mexico, Russia, Italy seem to love to eat horses. They're the big four when it comes to horse murders. And it seems in Florida, there is a horse butcher on the loose, guys. The most recent horse murders occurred in Collier County in the Golden Gate Estates, where a prize rodeo horse named Whip was led to a neighboring pasture. And this is graphic. He was tied to a tree and skinned and butchered for his meat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, so that's a totally normal thing to have happen after an animal is dead. Do we know? Was he skinned alive?
I don't. Well, it's not normal.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably would have been.
I think they. Probably not because he would have made a lot of noise if they were doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not that graphic. I mean, what you just described is literally how you butcher an animal.
Also important clarification. Fox Labs only makes pepper spray. Fox Farms makes it.
Well, Pat, it would have been graphic if you were the horse's owner's young son, Tilton, who found the horse the next day when him and his sister went out looking for old Whip. So, honey, go find Whip, would you? That crazy horse probably got out of his stable again. And oh my
no.
God, Tilton mustered
Tilton,
up.
why are you so
What
flat?
was left of him?
There's something wrong with Tilton.
Well, just the remains. So you do, probably
Just like
feet,
bones?
and head, and they butchered the horse for the meat. Is what
I take my joke
saying.
back.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's messed up.
No, that's fine. So Tilton mustered up the courage to give a statement to local news, saying, "I found him lying there dead. We both started crying. They think, it's just an animal. It's just a pet. No, it's a family member." And then Jamie Doria, Tilton's mom, said, "It's almost like one of my children dying. It's just bizarre. It's very heart-shattering." And then, unfortunately, this is not the first time this has happened in Florida. Since November, in Manatee, Sumter, and Marion counties, and now Collier, there have been all horses, the same thing, illegally stolen, butchered, and remains left behind.
This is a serial operation.
Yeah, there's a horse butcher on the loose. So
I'm curious. Do we know what remains were left? Because one thing is they're taking it for the meat because you can't find the meat.
Yeah.
But I wonder, are they are horse hooves or skin? Are there any rhino horns and a horse?
You mean are they
delicacy
exporting
wise?
it to China for their
I don't
weird
know.
medicines? Is what you're getting at? I don't know. Maybe it's possible. They didn't. They
It's
didn't
like
go
shark finning. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't go that graphic. They weren't like, they left the snout, but no, just remains. So a $13,000 reward is out there for anyone who has any information that can lead to an arrest of the horse butcher. If you have any information or have heard anyone saying they couldn't eat another delicious bite of horse if they wanted to, please call Crime Stoppers at 941-747-3011.
Kind of a weak reward if you're claiming that it could have been your child. I mean, you want the reward to generally be more or equal to the value of the animal, right?
Yeah. If it's like one of your kids, I think $12,500 is what the family was offering for any information to their prized horse Whip. So yeah, good point, Pat. And hey, guys, I'm not horsing around when I say if you want to make some serious money betting on politics, head on over to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. Get $20 on us when you deposit $20 or more and start betting on politics with us. We will continue to release our pick show after we are sure Pat doesn't have the coronavirus and we can all get back in the studio, and we'll continue to be your main source of betting advice. So saddle up with us and canter on over to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your free $20 and start winning today.
Love it. Have you guys ever been caught stealing?
Maybe.
No.
But probably just petty. I don't think so, actually.
Yeah, we don't steal as adults. I mean,
From
when
my
you're a kid,
parents,
you were-
maybe, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, I've been caught
stealing booze. Yeah. Who?
Yeah, I got caught stealing a Diet Mountain Dew from 7-Eleven when I was 11. Yeah, and I just rode away.
Badass.
Yeah, I didn't even like Diet Mountain Dew. But, you know, what I did, which is run, is a normal reaction. But one Florida man threw a little wrench in what a normal reaction is and took it to another level on Friday night when he was caught red-handed exiting a Publix grocery store in Palm Coast, Florida, with 2 boxes of grouper fillets and potatoes without paying for them. The loss prevention team at Publix confronted the 60-year-old Leroy Stolemeyer, which is a very Florida name, at the exit, at which point Leroy stated that he didn't have to pay for the fish fry ingredients because he was, in fact, a US Marshal. Right. Yeah.
Well, of course, I mean, Publix, you know, if you work at a Publix that US Marshals eat for free. I mean,
right.
That's
that's my
rule
point.
at a Publix, right?
It's a good point, Will. The first part of his plan worked like a charm as the employees were thoroughly confused and probably started Googling federal statutes while Leroy dropped the boxes and exited the store.
Okay, diversion. That makes sense.
But before Leroy could get away, the Publix team realized they'd been bested and they pursued Leroy to his vehicle, where Leroy was forced to execute phase 2 of his plan, which is presenting a gold badge in a black holder that read, quote, United States Marshal.
Wow.
Right. So, yeah, he had a backup plan in case someone called him on his BS.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Most bullshitters aren't going to have the physical bullshit evidence for you.
Yeah, and stolen martial valor is not very common.
Right. Right. Now, the tricky part here, guys, is he has a backup plan, right? But if he enacts that backup plan, he raises the stakes on the potential charges
Yes, he's
he may
committed
receive.
a federal crime, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they must have gotten his license plate because cops caught up with Leroy later on, and he denied all accusations. So what are you talking about? He then doubled down and told officers that he was, in fact, an air marshal flight examiner, and then presented that same badge again. Whoa, that's a bold move, Leroy. But you have to get up pretty early to fool the boys and girls in blue at the Flagler County Sheriff's Office because when they told Leroy the whole incident was on camera, Leroy knew he was cooked, and he said, quote, okay.
Yeah, when they felt that the badge was made of plastic.
Exactly.
And they were like, this is on camera.
Yeah. Well, you really gotta respect Leroy. He's a gambler. He'll go all in to try to get out of trouble. Stolemeyer was arrested.
He should have stopped short, though. If he had just not told the cops
if he had just dropped the fucking box of potatoes and fish and ran, he would have gotten away. Yeah. What an idiot.
True.
Now he's a felon. Well, he probably already was a felon, but he's a felon again. He was arrested and taken into custody for false impersonating of a federal law enforcement officer, petty shoplifting, and resisting a merchant.
Oh, Leroy.
Interesting. It's amazing what people think are good ideas. All right, this one is much better than my last story, I promise. So, guys, 27-year-old Jose Herrera of Orange County doesn't like to pay for things himself. He much prefers that dead people pay for his things, which is why he carries stolen debit cards that belong to dead people with him wherever he goes. He likes the convenience they offer, as well as the freedom of not having to worry about dead people calling in suspicious activity. So,
yeah. I mean, Vic seems like a pretty good scheme.
Right? Yeah. However, Jose also likes cocaine, and it makes him do things like fiddle inside his pockets, which makes people nervous, which in today's society makes people call the police at the drop of a hat, especially if you're attempting to buy jewelry and gift cards with those stolen cards at a Disney Springs shopping area inside Walt Disney World like Jose was.
Oh, wow. That's ballsy.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to hear if you're Jose is, hey, Why are you fiddling in your pockets?
Yeah. And he doesn't even realize he's doing it.
Yeah, they can see.
Yeah, so when real police arrived to find Disney police to detain Jose with rope, candy, and magic, they found the coke Jose quickly admitted to was, he said, "I'm not going to lie, it's cocaine," as if they weren't going to figure it out anyway, so no credit to be given to him for that. But what's really funny, and the whole fucking point to this drawn-out story, is that while deputies were on their way, this fucking idiot tried to eat the debit card he was initially caught with.
How did he not get it down? Right?
Well,
what?
You could try, Will. Try to get it. You think you could get a debit card down?
I think if I quartered it, if I put it into 4 like
what,
you have
the scissors in your pocket?
You just have a fucking. You got a pair of scissors when you're under arrest.
No, I'm saying. Well, he's got it. He was cuffed, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he pulls it out of the back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You fold it in half, and then you fold that half in half.
8,000 times.
No, just twice. Get it into a quarter, and then it's like a biteable or swallowable size.
Yeah, but
it's going to be like your mouth somehow.
It's like a joint filter that you rolled with a piece of ripped off cardboard. It's going to expand when it goes into your throat.
Okay, well that's a chance you're going to have to take if you want to eat the fucking debit card.
Right. Well, what's really dumb is that he was trying to get that one debit card down, even though he had 13 other stolen debit cards on him also. So he just thought he'd get one off the books before the cops got there and almost kill himself. Yeah, that was the one he was trying. That was the one he was trying to use. So he wanted to get rid of that evidence.
How thick is this guy's wallet? I can't even carry all the debit or credit cards that I rightfully own.
I mean, he probably had it in like a 1980s JanSport backpack, is my
wallet.
guess. So anyway, he's going to jail on fraud of a person who is dead, possession of coke, possession of a stolen credit card, and making false statements to law enforcement while under oath. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Hey, be on the lookout for some new blogs coming from us soon. I think Pat maybe released one yesterday.
I got one coming out tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Times are crazy, and we want to keep you informed, entertained, and healthy. So wash your hands. Stay away from old people for a while unless you directly care for them. Check out our YouTube channel, Hard Factor. Follow us on Instagram. Keep those reviews and voicemails coming. We are going to get through this together, folks. So until next time, stay clean, stay inside, stay sexy, and have a great fucking day.